I have a bad habit of recording while my dishwasher's going, so to let y'all know, that's the noise you're hearing in the background, okay? So, the thing about it is that I put music to what you saw in the beginning and made you read it because the articles that are about to pop up, we're gonna discuss it. Because you all have heard that this is happening in Chicago, but it's definitely not just Chicago, okay? So, most of y'all have no clue what that is, right? After a certain amount of companies have a certain amount of employees, correct? They have to give what's called a WARN notice, and WARN stands for Worker Adjustment and Retraining Notification. I'm thinking if you have over 100 employees, you have to give like 60 plus days so that they have time to apply for a new job. See, the problem with this is how many Americans are aware that this has existed since 1988? And in the economy we're in now, did you even know to go according to your state? Because different states have different ways that they apply this. For example, Washington State's is about to pop up. They'll tell you in my state whether it's a temporary or permanent closing. So if you didn't know to look at this list, you might go to work one day, be told to pack your things, and that's it. And how much does at-will employment play into that also? Because if they've already given notice on the WARN website, even if, or your state's particular WARN notices, if it's already put in the public, how can you know to go search it if you didn't know what a WARN notice was? What I'm trying to tell all of my listeners right now is you better assume that a side hustle is in your immediate future. Because your company could darn well be on your state's list and you don't know. So just search WARN notice in your state. For example, I tried to go find the PepsiCo one for Chicago, and it didn't show up on the WARN notices going back 60 days. Or maybe I missed it because I was sifting through it. But when you click on theirs, it comes up in an Excel spreadsheet. Where it's like, say, for example, here in Washington State, soon as you go to the site and scroll down, you see all of them, and you can go back so far and see the WARN notices. It's pretty hard to fight this stuff when they put it in public, right? I've seen some very heartbreaking comments online because they're making you think this is Chicago, but this is hardly just Chicago. I think they're closing down things in Pennsylvania, as you can see, in Atlanta as well. Mass layoffs and people are in hysterics. You have to assume that your company could show up on this list, as paranoid as that sounds. Just go and Google WARN notice in your state and see what's going to shut down in your state and how it impacts you. I knew when yellow trucking ran into its issue where people were angry when they found out they weren't getting pensions and it went to crap. It hit 99 years old, barely made it to 100. These people working, staying away from their families, only to find out that there was no payout. It was BS. Without a doubt, we know it was nonsense to sit here and do that to people. But in most instances, really, don't let me gaslight you. Most instances, because I don't like to put 100% on anything in this life. These people don't care about you; they care about metrics and profits. And when the numbers no longer look good, now the algorithm doesn't look good, and the metrics don't look good, they can count you. You were always a number to these people. That's not something y'all want to hear. I get that. You were always a number to these people. That's all they see you as, and that's all you will be to them. This is why they can do this to you. So, my advice is I'm using the PepsiCo to let you all know. Because come on, at the end of the day, they're dropping these jobs because they figured out a system of how to automate it. They're just not going to tell you that. That's why it's called the worker adjustment and retraining. Oh, you can retrain yourself to go somewhere else. That's what they want you to believe. They just want to retrain people, really, so that they can bring the few people back on cheaper and make huge profits, or have robots and have very few people work. It doesn't bode well either way. And everybody's like, well, they did this at Christmas time too. Y'all, they don't care. Please live with the assumption that you have to have a side hustle.